Today on Up at Noon, is Deadpool the best superhero origin movie ever? Destiny Mega Block should be hurled into space, and what the hell does this emoji mean? All that and more on Up at Noon.
Up at Noon is back, here it is!
It's here, and it's noon, and it's... up
at noon.
We're still
It's the show.
workshopping the theme song. We don't have the budget for
We
that.
really hate that trumpet song, too. We picked that out, and we're
Yeah.
like, this will never get tiring, and it got tiring after about...
Yeah,
three
we
times
actually,
during-
about 2 or 3 years ago, Max and I took a weekend trip to New Orleans, and we went down on the street with some field recorders and got a big 40-person brass band to just knock out a couple of cranks for us, put it right up on our recorders, and put it right in the top of the show.
100% true, believe it or not.
We definitely didn't go on Killer Tracks and just buy a song.
If you're just tuning into Up at Noon for the first time ever, I'm sorry. I'm Max Scoville. That's Brian Altano, and this is a show where we goof around and have a good time with our fun toys and have a great. And we can watch it on the computers, all sorts of different types of computers, such as the Xbox computer, the PS4 computer, IGN.com's computer, Roku box, Twitch, YouTube, Apple TV, all kinds of stuff. I can't wait until you can watch streaming stuff on a smart fridge, because I think it's going to happen pretty soon.
I think you probably could now, right?
I don't know what smart fridge. I don't have a smart fridge. I have a very stupid fridge. It spills water all over the floor
That's
when I
right.
try to get ice cubes. On that note, you can tweet at us. That's probably the best way to get our attention. We use the hashtag Up at Noon. Or also, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, there's chats there, as well as the comment section on IGN. So if you're in one of those various outlets of typing stuff on the computer, we're trying to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things to look at.
Hashtag Up at Noon. Go on Twitter, ask us questions, give us comments, call us names. We will be legally required to read some of them.
Yeah. Now, speaking of legally required to read things, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Honey Baked Holiday Ham. Every day is a holiday when there's ham. This is a real sponsor, an actual company that is the Hams. Wanted to give us money for us to talk about their product on our show.
That's right. My
Not a joke
favorite.
that we did because we don't have real sponsors.
Yep. We give ham 10 out of 10.
When they didn't pay us to say that,
Nope.
we reviewed that on our own
Ham is
at
delicious.
a Easter breakfast.
A brown sugar, hot honey, delicious treat you can eat on the train.
Now we've got a really good show lined up for you today. We've got
Yeah.
a lot of fun things to talk about. First of all, this is sort of we're definitely coming in hot here. We have a wonderful man named Stephen Machuga, who is from an organization called StackUp.org, which is a nonprofit that's all about getting video games to people in the military who are stationed overseas and want to have a nice time when they're sitting around being bored. We've got him on Skype, and we might not be able to talk to him. We're going to give that a shot right now, and we're going to see if we can maybe do that. Steven, can you hear me?
Afternoon, gentlemen. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh my God, it works. We can
Yes!
totally hear him. That's
Hi,
amazing.
Steven.
I'm so excited.
Yeah!
That's the best. Yeah. All right. So, hi.
Hi, Stephen. Tell us a little bit about StackUp.org. What's going on with this thing?
Uh-oh. Bueller?
Yeah, we're
Can you
here.
hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can we hear you?
Fine. How's everything going on?
It's going pretty good. You sound very small. You sound like a tiny little man inside a computer.
Uh-oh. That's not good. You guys can hear me all right, though.
It's getting louder. It's getting louder. This is very.
Right.
This
How
is
about I
very,
do this?
very.
Hi. Hear me?
You look very sensual when you do that.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, dear. All right.
Hold on. I'm going to go to my system preferences.
We're opening the system
Yeah,
preferences.
don't look at my system preferences, everybody.
Take a look at Max's system preferences.
Okay.
One of his system preferences is that every time he turns on the computer, there's a new picture of an animal kissing a different animal.
That's true.
He's really into that. Look, now we have a man live on this is the power of live television. This is what you don't really understand. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of things to happen. Like we have this dude who looks like a grown-up version of half the cast of The Sandlot. That's Squints right after he kissed that girl in the pool.
Yeah, don't ever do that, by the way. Don't ever fake drowning to get a kiss.
Yeah.
Unless you're on that one dating app where it's all about faking drowning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drownies.com.
Gurgle.org or whatever. Let's see. Are we...
How's it going over there, guys?
I can kind of hear you. It's pretty good. So can you talk a little bit about what StackUp is, and we'll try to hear you?
Sure can. All right, StackUp.org. We are a military charity that supports U.S., NATO, and ANZAC, which is Australian and New Zealand troopers, with the power of gaming, so to speak, not just regular gaming, board gaming, collectible card gaming, any kind of gaming. As somebody who's deployed multiple times with the military, gaming was a huge piece of what helped keep me sane when I was overseas, and it helped me transition back home from when I came back home from my deployments. So I wanted to continue my service after I got out of the military, and this is how I chose to do so. So that's the long and short of it.
That's awesome. Now, one thing that I always am fascinated by, clearly we're a couple of layabout idiots. We've never served any time or
Yeah.
is it serve time? That's jail.
No,
right?
that's jail.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, obviously we're not good at this. But I mean, there's kind of that misconception if you're off, in the line of duty, you're going to be very busy. But I hear there's a lot of downtime.
There absolutely is. People kind of think it's like a Vietnam War film every time you go outside the wire, and it's not. It's 23 and a half hours of sitting around, and maybe if you're lucky, a half hour of craziness that happens on post, on base, wherever you're located at, unless you're rolling outside the wire all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of downtime. I mean, you have 364 days in a wake up, and you were saying like serving time. That's pretty much what it is over there. You are kind of in a jail over there. There's not much you can do. You do your job, you go eat, you go lift weights, and then you go back to your bunk, and there's really not a lot to do. And a lot of guys have a tough time staying motivated, staying happy. And let me tell you, video games is a great motivator for guys. If you get at the end of your work shift, knowing that you have we got a Halo tournament happening, or we got Call of Duty, which is a big request for ours. But guys want to have something to look forward to at the end of the day, and a lot of times, in some of these posts, they just don't have the leisure activities available to them. A lot of units, the budgets have been getting cut as these combat zones have been getting whittled away. So guys are finding less and less to do to keep themselves preoccupied and happy over there. And it's really important to make sure that, they're not focusing on what they're doing over there, or focusing on, hey, there's all this stuff going on back home. I got to pay the mortgage. I got to, is my wife okay? Are my kids okay? They can't do anything from where they're at. So we have to keep them preoccupied and happy while they're deployed. So that's a lot of what the charity is all about.
Now, there's probably the assumption, and you even said it, Halo, Call of Duty. I think a lot of us would leap to the idea that these are the shooting games, military shooters, sort of like kind of raw, visceral, first-person, very violent games, are what we would associate a soldier who is possibly doing that to some variety in real life. But I guess, and I would imagine that they are interested in other genres as well, right?
Yeah, it's one of the strangest questions that gets asked us, because obviously the Call of Duty, Battlefield, and then Madden are our big three asks. Everybody wants those, and of course the question is, guys are going outside the wire shooting people and getting shot at. You wouldn't think that they would want to play a game like that.
Right.
But not only is it the most popular game, one of the most popular franchises out there right now, but guys either are a part of that and know it's fiction, or they're not a part of that and they want to be a part of that, so they enjoy shoot. That's the only thing I can think of as to why we get so many requests for shooters.
Those are also the most popular series around.
Yeah.
Period.
Because
Madden and Call of Duty are regularly bestsellers.
It's kind of like if Max and I predominantly played video games about buying toys and eating pizza and stuff like that. But so how do you are you able to sort of like pair up sort of personality types or individuals with certain requests, or do you kind of send over like a big box of games? Like, how does it work exactly?
Well, the folks, the veterans who are interested in getting our support, they go to our website, stack-up.org, and they fill out a request on our page. It kind of lists like, hey, I'm in the military, here's where I'm at, here's what I'd like. You kind of give us a wish list, and then we work with developers like Ubisoft or Bungie or any of EA, Deep Silver, any of our partners, and see what we can get for them. And then whatever, if we got somebody who wants Fallout 4 and an Xbox One, if we don't have that in inventory, we go get it for them. We make sure that we get them like the latest and greatest in games. Like one of the big impetuses for me starting this is, we got a lot of bad care packages while I was deployed forward, and the one that really drove it home was while I was deployed to Iraq. My infantry company, which is all military age males, got a crate full of Harlequin romance novels from a library. And it was one of those, we obviously a bunch of dudes, we didn't have any use for them, so we ended up using them on the confiscated arms range for target practice.
Yeah.
But
That's fun. Shooting books.
but it was one of
Okay.
it was one of those things where it kind of highlighted the fifth grade canned food drive mentality of a lot of people trying to support veterans deployed forward, where it's like, hey, if I send anything, they'll be happy for it. And next thing you know, the fifth grader runs home, grabs a dented can of yams and brings it on.
Yeah.
Everybody's done it, and I know I've done it. You kind of rummage through the pantry,
Yep.
grab a can, and next thing you know, you have 26 cans of yams. Have you really done anything?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was
So-
going to say this kind of has that sort of underprivileged like child toy drive Christmas time thing to it. It's like,
Exactly.
you're like, yeah, here's an old squished volleyball. It's like nobody wants to play with that,
Yeah, so I guess I wonder what's the creamed corn of 2016 video games, I guess it's pretty much essential that you have somebody happy, right? When they're in a scenario like this, or at least sort of satiated. So it's a great idea to provide them with the entertainment that they so desire. So you also mentioned board games. Is that because a lot of people are in scenarios where they're not constantly able to run a next-gen system? A big problem when we first heard about the Xbox One was the always online thing, and that kind of went away and then kind of came back for a lot of games. I know Max and I really love Star Wars Battlefront. That's not really something you can play without like a steady internet connection.
Yeah.
Right, and based on where guys are deployed forward, there is like a leisure wireless internet connection based. At least that's what I've been hearing from guys deployed forward. The more built up the area, the more infrastructure they have for things like that. But you're not going to be connecting to Bungie's servers for Destiny or anything like that. That said, we still make sure we send that stuff just in case they have that capability
Sure.
where they're at. But we were definitely sweating when we heard about the Xbox One being an online only box, and it was like, oh, I guess we're not sending those anymore.
Yeah.
But no, it's. And we don't only do veterans deployed forward. We also do veterans recovering in military hospitals back home, organizations here in the States as well that either need our support or are looking to work, create gaming is everywhere nowadays, and veterans, are nowadays, you're 18 to 35, military age male and female. Everybody's gaming nowadays. The number I like using is Forbes magazine said by 2018, gaming will be $100 billion industry, whereas in Hollywood right now it's a $10 billion industry. So we are everywhere. It's just a matter of time before we have a president who's played all the way through Grand Theft Auto 8 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we are here to support veterans everywhere across the board, whether stateside, deployed, forward, humanitarian missions, just everywhere. So.
Awesome.
Yep.
I, for one, can't wait to elect President Bong Lord 69.
So, Stephen, where can people find out more? You said it's stackup-org, stackup-org, the little line thing.
Yeah, we were unable to get stackup.org, so it's stack-up.org. Or I just say stack-up.org. We're on Twitter. We have a partner Twitch channel. We're pretty much, but we're out there. Come find us. We're gonna have a booth at PAX East where we're gonna be having folks do push-ups for prizes, as we always do. Signing people up for our big event in May, our Call to Arms 24-hour gaming marathon.
Awesome.
So
And I'm guessing you guys are always trying to do fundraising and stuff too.
Oh yeah, shaking the tin cup every day.
Gotcha.
Now, you mentioned that there's a lot of developers that are like helping with this stuff, but is this something the average gamer can be like, I've got these games, I want to help out and bring these over to these guys?
Absolutely. A lot of guys are transitioning from 360 and PS3, and they don't want to trade their stuff in for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
So this is another opportunity for them to get a second life out of their games and gear. While we are making sure we send current generation PS4, Xbox One, if we have Xbox 360s and PS3s, we send those along as well. Because, hey, you never know when somebody wants to fire up, Fallout New Vegas or whatever.
Sure.
But yes,
Awesome.
try
Still an
to
awesome
keep it with those. Those are that is pretty much as far back as we want to go. Don't send us your Atari 2600. But lightly used last generation consoles and games are acceptable as well. We get a lot of those, and of course, obviously, the newer stuff is what we're looking for. So,
Cool.
So gamers everywhere, send these guys your games, help them out, and developers everywhere. Keep making online single player mode or offline single player mode. We want stuff that we can play even in the middle of the desert. Not us specifically,
There you
because
go.
we would get torn up out there.
Yeah.
We are such babies.
Very sensitive.
Stephen, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Stackup.org.
Thanks a
Check it
lot.
out. Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.